بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Quranic evidence for the motion of the sun. Quranic evidences for the sun's motion. Here are the numerous evidences extracted by Sheikh Umayyah at-Tuwaijuri from the Quran, on the basis of which Muslim here considers that the sun is in motion. Whoever denies the motion of the sun, which is related to the phenomena of night and day, and claims, as do astronomers, that the sun is stationary relative to the earth, has fallen to major kufr, because it's clear the takdeeb of Allah, which is accusing Allah of lying and speaking untruth. One, the statement of Allah the Exalted, والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم, and the sun runs on its fixed course for a time appointed. That is the decree of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. Surah 36 verse 38. And Ibn Masud read the verse لمستقر لها, and Al-Baghawi said, in the explanation of this settlement, there is no settlement on or stopping. It runs continuously. Al-Qurtubi said it runs through the night and day. It does not pause or settle. This verse establishes jaryan for the sun, which is swift motion. 2. The statement of Allah the Exalted, وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ يَجْرِي لِأَجْلٍ مُسَمًّى. He has subjected the sun and the moon to continue going around, each running its course for a time appointed. That is Surah 13 verse 2. 3, 4, 5. The above statement is repeated in that one, Surah 31 verse 29, Surah 35 verse 13, Surah 39 verse 5, and in those verses the merging of the night into day and vice versa, يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل, and the wrapping of the night around the day and vice versa, يكور الليل النهار ويكور النهار الليل, are also mentioned. Al-Raqib al-Asfahani said, he's saying wrapping the night is an indication of the motion of the sun across its rising point, and the increase and decrease in the length of the night and day. 6, 7. The statement of Allah exalted, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. And it is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, all are in orbit swimming. That is Surah 21 verse 3. And the same again, كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ, in Surah 36 verse 40. In relation to the relation of the night, rotation of the night, day, sun, and moon, Ibn Abbas, Ikrimah, Ad-Dahak, Al-Hasan, Al-Qatwada, Al-Ata, Al-As all say that they all swim, meaning in a circular orbit in the sky. In Ibn Abbas and others said, like the spinning wheel used for yarn. And Mujahid said the orbit is like the grinding mill or the spinning wheel. The wheel does not spin without the spindle, and it without the wheel. He also said the sun, moon, and stars are in orbit like the spinning wheel. He also said the spindle does not revolve except with the wheel, and the wheel does not revolve except with the spindle, and the hand of the grinding mill does not revolve except with it, and it does not revolve except with the handle. Mujahid said, thus are the stars, sun, and the moon. They are in a circular orbit, and they do not revolve except with it, and nor does it revolve except with them. He then stuck his finger in the ground and then turned his hand around to indicate the circular orbit, found a center point, the finger, and said they revolve like this. And Ibn Taymiyyah explained what a duwana, which a child plays with, is an item made out of wood or other material around which a string is wrapped, and it is pulled quickly. A modern day example will be a spinning general like the one pictured, which is spun with the hand using the spindle. And Al-Hasan al-Basri said regarding kullun fi falakin yasbahun, meaning they are circular orbit. This means that the sun, moon, and stars have circular orbit around over the earth. Number 8. The statement of Allah the Exalted, وَسَنَ لَكُمْ شَمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ دَيْبَيْنِ, and He has made the sun and the moon both constantly pursuing their courses to be of service to you. That is Surah 14 verse 33. Al-Raqbi al-Asfani said, continuous motion, and Ibn Mazur said in al-Lisan, Du'ub is exaggeration in motion, and Ibn Kathir said they will not lack nor stop until the day of judgment. Al-Qutubi said Du'ub is when something persists upon its activity, making it a continuous habit. Shaykh Umud said in his saying, the Exalted وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمْ, He has subjected for you, is evidence that the sun and the moon are in a motion orbit the earth to enable the livelihood and the beneficial interest of the servant to be established. For that reason, Allah said this as His favor upon them in this verse. Another whose mention is to follow. Number 9. The statement of Allah the Exalted, يُغْشَى اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ يَطْلُبُهُ حَثِيثًا وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ والنُّجُومُ مسخرات بأمره. He makes the night to cover the day, seeking it rapidly, and he created the sun, the moon, and the stars, subjected by his command. That is Surah 7, verse 54. The angle of evidence in the verse is that the night rapidly pursues the day, and the day is caused by the light of the sun, and hence the day follows the sun, traversing with the sun's traversal. Hence it indicates that the sun is always in motion, never remaining still, and in the verse is also another proof, which is the subjugation of the sun. This is discussed in the next set of verses. Number 10, 11, the statement of Allah the Exalted, وَصَلَّكُمْ لَيْلَ وَنَهَارٍ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ وَالنُّجُومُ مُسَخَّرَاتٌ بِأَمْرِهِ مسخرات بأمره. And he has subjected to you the night and the day, the sun and the moon, and the stars are subjected by his command. Surah 16, verse 12. Also, ولئن سألت من خلق السماوات والأرض وسخر الشمس والقمر يقولون الله قل فأنا يؤفكون. If you ask them who created the heavens and the earth and subjected the sun and the moon, they will surely say Allah. Then how are they deluded? That is Surah 29, verse 61. The meaning of the previous three verses is that Allah has subjected the sun, moon, stars, night and day, and has made them to constantly surround their course in a circle orbit around the earth to enable the livelihood and beneficial interest of the servant to be established. So blessed is Allah, the Lord of the world, who subjected whatever is in the heavens and earth for his servant all from himself. To all of the servant of Allah the Exalted, قال إبراهيم فإن الله يأتي بشمس من المشرق فأتي بها من المغرب فبهت الذي كفر الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. Abraham said, indeed Allah brings up the sun from the east, so bring it up from the west, so that his believer was conferred, and Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. That is Surah 2, verse 258. This verse is from the clearest of evidences for the motion and orbit of the sun around the earth, and that Allah suggested it to come from the east every day and depart the west. If it is essentially not moving from its place as is claimed by modern astronomy, to say that it comes from the east will be pointless and idle speech with no meaning to it. It will be more befitting for Abraham salam to say to his disputant, Allah brings the earth and makes it rotate from the west to the east, so make it rotate from the east to west, but they have turned reality the other way around without any evidence but pure conjecture and mathematics. The Vedatim. It is of Allah the Exalted. فلما رأى شمس بازغا قال هذا ربي هذا أكبر فلما فلت قال يا قوم إني بريء مما تشركون. When he saw the sun rising up, he said, this my Lord, this is greater. When he said, oh my people, I am indeed free, I'm indeed free from all that you join as partners in worship with Allah. That is verse Surah 6, verse 78. This is from the clearest evidence for the motion and orbit of the sun around the earth. Allah has mentioned both the bazooq rising and uful disappearing, fading, setting for the moon with the likes of what he mentioned for the sun, and he did the same for the stars. Since the Muslims affirm whatever Allah affirmed of motion and orbit around this earth for all of them, the ancient astronomers also affirmed that too. However, it was Copernicus and Herschel, their followers among the European philosophers, and those who blindly followed them among the Muslims who opposed this. They affirmed motion and orbit for the moon around the earth, and affirmed motion and orbit for the planet around the sun. By now, motion for the sun completely. What necessarily follows from this is the negation of what Allah affirmed for the sun of rising and disappearing or setting, and this is a plain disbelief without any doubt, because it is taqdeer of what Allah informed in His book. As for the one who affirmed motion and orbit for the moon, then it is binding upon him to affirm that for the sun as well. If he does not do so, then he separates between two like things and believes in part of the book and disbelieves in other. Allah said, "Afatuna Do you believe in part of the book and disbelieve in a part?" That is Surah 2, verse 84, 85, 14. The statement of Allah the Exalted, Aqibu Salat the Luki Shamsi Laka Sakil Layl. Establish prayer at the decline of the sun from its meridian until the darkness of the night. That is Surah 17, verse 78. The word the look is explained as the sun is ceasing to be at the highest point in the sky at noon due to its westward motion. Al-Bawi said the origin of Duluk is in well, inclining, turning, going towards. The sun inclines stands when it realizes its zenith and goes westwards. 7:15. The statement of Allah the Exalted, وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَوَّرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. And had you been present, you will see the sun when it rose inclining away from the cave on the right, and when it set passing away from them on the left. Surah 18, verse 17. Ibn Abbas, Said bin Jubair, Qatada, and Zayd bin Aslam all say that tazawwaru means to incline and go towards tamillu. The meaning is to pass by and away away from something. 16, 17, 18, 19. The statement of Allah the Exalted. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمية, until reach the westernmost setting place of the sun. He perceived it setting over a hot muddy spring. That is verse Surah 18 verse 86. And also حتى إذا بلغ المطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم رجعهم من دون وسترها, until when he came to the rising place of the sun in the easternmost part of the earth, he found it rising over people for whom he had not made against it any shield, through trees, rocks, and habitation and the likes. 18, that is Surah 18 verse 19. And also فاصبر على ما يقولون وسبح بحمد قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها. So be patient of what they say and exalt Allah with the praise of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before his setting. That is Surah 20 verse 130. And also فاصبر على ما يقولون وسبح بحمد قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها. So be patient of what they say and exalt Allah with praise of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting. 50:39. So in these verses and the three that come before, the following have been ascribed to the sun: Tulu rising, Ghurub setting, Duluk departing from its zenith to the west, Tazawwur inclining, turning, going, passing by, and Buzuk rising and fall disappearing. This categorically proves that it is the sun that is in motion and in orbit around the earth. It rises and comes from the east, just the zenith, the highest point, and then continues in the other direction, the west. If the sun was essentially relative to the earth, then what is related in all the above but is fertile, pointless and in vain without any meaning, and this saying does not emanate from anyone who believes in Allah and the Exalted. 20. The statement of Allah the Exalted. والشمس ودها والقمر إذا تلاها. والشمس والضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها. نعم. By the sun its brightness and by the moon when it follows it. 91, that is Surah 91 verse 1 to 2. This verse defends that the sun travels and the moon follows it. Ibn Abbas said Talaha Talaha meaning follows it. Mujahid also said the same. Ibn Abbas also said it follows the day. Qatada said on the night of the Hilal new moon, when the sun falls below the horizon, the new crescent moon is seen. He means that the moon can be then seen following behind the sun, and it continues to do so for the next 14 days. Ibn Zayd said it follows for the first half of the month, then the sun follows the moon, which remains ahead of it for the later half of the month. 21, 22, the statement of Allah is desolate. Ashas al-Qamru bi-Usban, the sun and the moon move by process calculation. قال الإصباح فالق الإصباح وجعل ليلة سكن والشمس والقمر والسبحان ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. He is the cleverer of daybreak and has made the night for the rest and the sun and moon for calculation. That is the definition of the Exalted in might. The knowing is Surah 6 verse 96. Mujahid explained that the husband is the hand on the grinding mill pictured area, and the mill does not move except with the handle, and the handle does not move except with the mill. Thus there are two explanations for this, and both describe the motion of the sun and moon. First, that they are circular, orbiting around the central axis, which will be the center of the earth, and second, that they are by precise calculation moving at fixed precise times, having cycles that are repeated over given durations. After presenting this evidence, Sheikh Humud Aywa says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he is the all-knowing and all-informed had tied the mention of the sun and the moon in the most of these places that have been cited from in the Quran, which we have mentioned. He informed that both of them run and swim in an orbit. The modern astronomers affirm this for the moon but rejected it for the sun. They have no evidence for distinguishing between them except false conjectures and corrupt imaginations. Now.